Well, this morning, the jury has declared a guilty verdict in the trial of Lori Vallow Daybell. Lori was found guilty of conspiring with her brother to kill her former husband, Charles Vallow.
Now the family of Charles Vallow is expressing their relief that justice has again prevailed. News specialist Garda Mejia is in Phoenix and has more on what the Vallow family is experiencing right now. Now police are trying to get on top of a concerning trend in Ogden. Auto pedestrian crashes are on the rise, and officers now taking to the streets, sending drivers a message. Developing now, authorities in Virginia have filed additional charges against a former NICU nurse accused of hurting babies in her care.
The White House is publicly standing behind Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth.
Meanwhile, Utah's 2 U.S. senators are speaking out on the controversy.
This morning, as the world mourns the passing of Pope Francis, Catholic Church officials prepare for his funeral.
The Pontiff's body has been transferred to St. Peter's Basilica this morning for worshipers to pay their respects, saying their own personal goodbyes. NBC's Jay Gray has the details from Vatican City. Thank you so much. Happening now, a case in which experts are calling the most significant religious-related appeal that the Supreme Court has faced in years. This morning, women in the U.S. are still having fewer babies than usual.
Now the 50th mission for Utah Honor Flight is underway.
More than 70 veterans are getting a hero's treatment and a warm welcome at every stop. These are cutting programs as they work to get back funding pulled by the state.
Higher education institutions across Utah lost 10% of their budget this year due to a bill passed by lawmakers.
Google's Earth Day Dougal shows the word Google written out using pictures of some of our planet's letter-like geologic features.
Yeah, this is always fun. If you take a closer look here, the G is an island in the Maldives. The E is in the Australian outback, and the L is actually in southeastern Utah. Here's a view we want to show you again, everyone. As we just celebrated Earth Day, we're taking a look at some of our planet's natural defenders against fossil fuel pollution.
These scientists from the California Ocean Alliance are here to study these incredible mammals who have a very important job. So much. Well, good morning to you as you're waking up and heading out the door. We are accident and breakdown free. We're starting off in Farmington this morning. This is I-15 at Park Lane. This is the closest that we could get to Shepherd Lane. We know some overnight work was happening there. All north and southbound lanes have reopened in the Farmington area. It was supposed to go until 6, but it wrapped up at 5 this morning. So you should be smooth sailing as you're heading out. Looking great along Bangor as you travel through South Jordan, and no major issues on our map. Lots of green, no delays on our 215 interchanges, and looking great on the rest of our surface streets. Thanks so much. Well, let's stay over in Clearfield this morning. As you make your way through Davis County, things are returning to normal. I've been watching this camera. This is I-15 southbound as you travel near 350 north in Clearfield. The message board has just cleared, but it was letting us know that there was a crash about 4 miles ahead. 4 miles ahead will put us near Church Street there, and we did have an earlier left lane closure, but it has completely cleared. So smooth sailing as you travel southbound, no delays as you make your way into Salt Lake City this morning. Let's take a quick look at your live drive times. If you're heading to the airport, 31 minutes from Ogden, 38 as you travel in from Provo, and about 27 minutes as you come in from Park City. And looking ahead, the Salt Lake Marathon is happening this weekend, and police are reminding you about the road closures that are going to come with it. More than 200 intersections will be temporarily closed throughout the day on Saturday. Some key areas include downtown, Federal Heights, the University of Utah campus, Sugar House, and Holiday. Closures may begin as early as midnight. The final roads will be back open by 5 in the afternoon, so make sure you give yourself some extra time, but most will start around 5 a.m. and last to 2 p.m. So expect some significant delays and make sure you have those alternate routes. So stick with us for the routes.
All right, Deja.
Let's start in Salt Lake County. Here's I-15 northbound near 11th South as you make your way through downtown. Looking relatively quiet, no major issues on our arteries, so we love to see it. And if you're traveling in from Utah County, Point of the Mountain, relatively quiet, but starting to see some more congestion building on the northbound side, but haven't seen any major delays. So right now, if you're traveling in from the Provo area up to Point of the Mountain, it's a 23-minute ride, and then an additional 23 minutes as you make your way up to Salt Lake City. Quick look at the map. Your 215 interchanges looking great as you travel through Mill Creek, or if you're traveling through Taylorsville this morning and not seeing any major delays coming out of Tooele, still about a 35-minute ride. Coming from Park City, 27 minutes as you make your way over to the airport. So we're loving to see lots of green this morning, Tamara. Thanks so much. Well, let's start over in Davis County for you this morning. We know that road work that was happening I-15 north and southbound between 200 North and Park Lane was causing a little bit of delay, but it has completely reopened both north and southbound, and we're not seeing any issues in the area. Traffic fully moving up to speed, which we love. Let's check in on I-15 over in the Murray area. This is near 50th South. Traffic moving up to speed. At last check, speeds are coming in just under about 73 miles per hour and still looking great out there on the map. Haven't seen any major disruptions and no slowdowns on our surface streets. So you are smooth sailing and looking great as you're heading out the door this morning.
7.
Sounds great, Matt. Thanks so much. Well, let's check in on your Tooele commute this morning. Here's a live look at our UDOT camera, I-80 eastbound, with eastbound traffic traveling towards us at milepost 100 near the edge of the Great Salt Lake. No major delays for you. It's a 36-minute ride as you travel along I-80 over to Salt Lake City this morning. Taking a look at the 201 freeway, this is near Bangor. As you travel from Tooele over to this specific location, going to take you about 31 minutes. So we haven't seen any major delays along the I-15 corridor. 42 minutes from Spanish Fork up to Salt Lake City. And like I mentioned, I-80 is looking relatively quiet as you start that morning commute, Lori. That sounds great. Thanks so much. All right, let's check in on your Utah County commute. This is I-15 northbound at 400 South in the Springville area. Seeing a consistent flow of traffic in both directions with speeds here coming under about 74 miles per hour. That's your average speed. So we are seeing freeway speeds as you're heading out the door. A little further north, I-15 northbound near 3800 North, or locally Adobe Way, if that's what you want to call it. No major delays here as well, relatively quiet. So if you're coming in from Spanish Fork up to Salt Lake City, you can account for about a 42-minute ride. But take a look at the map. Delay-free, lots of green, no major delays as you make your approach to Point of the Mountain all the way up to the Spaghetti Bowl. So we're looking great. Much. Well, we're checking in on the Spaghetti Bowl this morning as you make your way through South Salt Lake. Haven't seen any major issues along the I-15 corridor traveling through Salt Lake County, and the rest of our arteries are relatively quiet, but we are seeing an issue on our surface streets. We do have an accident or some type of issue near the intersection of Antelope Drive and Hillfield Road over in the Layton area. Still working to get you some more information, but police are already on the scene, so we'll keep an eye on this for you, Lori.
All right, Deja, thank you.
Sorry, still dealing with an accident in Layton near the intersection of Hillfield Road and Antelope Drive. Police are on the scene. It's kind of off to the shoulder, but you definitely still want to use some caution on the approach. Taking a quick look at the map, it hasn't popped up yet, but just within the last few minutes on the east belt of I-215 near around 700 South in Murray, we do have an accident there blocking the shoulder. We'll try to get a perspective of that or a live look in just a bit. But looking ahead, the Salt Lake Marathon is happening this weekend, so police are reminding you about the road closures that are going to come with it. So here's what you need to know. More than 200 intersections will be temporarily closed throughout the day on Saturday. Some key areas: downtown, Federal Heights, the University of Utah campus, Sugar House, and Holiday. Now, closures can begin as early as midnight with the final roads back open by 5 in the afternoon, but most will start around 5 a.m. and last until about 2 p.m. So give yourself some extra time. Expect some delays in the area, and there will be some localized alternates, and we'll keep you informed on those. Here is our UDOT cam. We do have a crash blocking your right shoulder as you travel southbound along I-215 in Murray near 700 West. But as you can see from our camera here, not impacting your commute substantially, so no major impacts. Still dealing with a crash, though, in the intersection of Hillfield Road at Antelope Drive in Layton. All southbound lanes are blocked right now, so you will see traffic being rerouted along this stretch. Otherwise, still relatively quiet, but give yourself some extra time as you travel through the Layton area this morning.
Deja,
Thanks so much. Well, starting off your morning with a few minor accidents out on the roadways. The first is going to be southbound along I-215 in the Murray area near 700 West. It continues to block your right shoulder, but not impacting the main span of your lanes. And deal with the surface street crash. This one is over in the Layton area near Hillfield Road and Antelope Drive. It is blocking the southbound turn lane, so emergency crews are on the scene, but it looks as though it will be clearing within the next few minutes. All right, here's what you need to know as you're heading out the door. We are still dealing with a surface street crash in the Layton area. It's at the intersection of Hillfield Road and Antelope Drive, still blocking those southbound lanes, so you will see traffic being diverted by police there, but we have looked and haven't seen any injuries, but still dealing with some congestion on the approach there. Taking a quick look at the map, I-15, no major issues there from Spanish Fork up to Salt Lake City. It's still about a 42-minute ride, and that earlier crash on the eastbound of I-215 near 700 West in Murray is still blocking the shoulder. And this morning, we are marking Go Orange Day as part of National Work Zone Awareness Week. The Federal Highway Administration is hoping that you and your colleagues will wear orange in support of highway workers and, of course, reminding travelers to slow down, use caution when you're traveling through those work zones, because we want to keep our construction workers and all those crews safe. For the Stars is officially returning for season 34, and so far only one star has been announced. So much. Well, I-15 southbound near 600 South in Centerville. I thought we had an accident here, but it looks like it was some UHP activity. Maybe this person was speeding and got a ticket. We see 3 UHP vehicles here, but that person now pulling off, and as are those troopers there. So no major issues southbound. Just be mindful of your speed as you're heading out this morning. And the good news is an earlier crash, Hillfield Road at Antelope Drive, has just cleared. Thanks so much. Well, We are relatively accident-free, but we are seeing some congestion building I-15 northbound as you travel through the Murray area. You will start seeing congestion on your approach to the 215 interchange, so just give yourself some extra time as you're heading out the door. Otherwise, no other major issues. This earlier crash, this is one I told you about, I-15 southbound near 600 South, has recently cleared, and as you travel from Provo up to Salt Lake City, relatively quiet, still a 40-minute ride. Matt?